History isn't just about kings and wars. It's also about invisible killers like pandemics that have impacted the world we live in. Today, we're counting down the top 10 deadliest pandemics of all time, including one that wiped out nearly half of a continent. Let's begin. Number 10, the Hong Kong flu. It started in the summer of 1968. It claimed up to 1 million lives and 100,000 in the United States alone. In Hong Kong, a new H3N2 influenza virus had emerged, catching scientists by surprise. This virus was a mix of human and avian strains and was super contagious and spread rapidly. With the rise of international air travel, the flu jumped from city to city, crossing continents in just weeks. Airplanes became carriers, spreading the virus worldwide. Up to 1 million people died in just 2 years. That's unbelievable. Hospitals were overwhelmed, and communities struggled to cope. The Hong Kong flu is still alive today. It's in the seasonal flu now. Vaccines and public health measures have improved, but a threat of a new pandemic is always on the rise. Number 9, the Asian flu of 1957. Another new influenza strain, H2N2, emerged in East Asia about a decade before the Hong Kong flu of 1968, and it swept across the globe. With no immunity available, millions were vulnerable. The virus killed up to an estimated 1 to 4 million people in just 1 year, making it one of the deadliest pandemics the world had ever seen. Vaccines were developed quickly, but not fast enough to stop the destruction. The pandemic exposed how unprepared the world was. Even in the modern era, would you have gotten the vaccine back then? Number 8, the Antonine Plague in ancient Rome. This deadly epidemic struck at the height of Rome's power, devastating the empire and killing millions, lasting from 165 AD to 180 AD, likely caused by smallpox or measles. The plague claimed famous emperors like Lucius Verus and Marcus Aurelius, leaving Rome shaken and terrified. Roman armies returning from the east unknowingly spread the disease, tearing apart families and communities across the empire. The army and economy were crippled, borders weakened, and the government struggled to maintain order. The Antonine Plague exposed even the mightiest empires. It haunted Rome for generations. Number 7, the Cocolisli epidemic in Mexico. A mysterious fever, likely a hemorrhagic virus or deadly salmonella, killed up to 15 million people from 1545 to 1548. It devastated indigenous populations, erasing entire communities and changing the Americas forever. Up to 80% of Mexico's native people died, paving the way for Spanish dominance. The psychological and cultural loss was immense. Would history be different if this epidemic never happened? Number 6, the third plague pandemic. Starting in China in 1855, it spread globally, killing over 12 million people. Steamships and global trade networks carried plague-infected rats and fleas to every continent. The same bacterium behind the Black Death struck again. But this time, scientists identified the cause and began to fight back. The pandemic lasted over a century, only ending in the 1960s. The plague still exists today, lurking in rodent populations. History's ancient threats aren't always gone. Number 5, HIV/AIDS. Since 1981, it has claimed up to 44 million lives worldwide. the virus attacks the immune system, leaving victims vulnerable to other diseases. Stigma and misinformation slowed the early response, but the crisis soon became global. Antiretroviral therapy turned HIV from a death sentence into a manageable condition. But there's still no cure. Millions still lack access to treatment. Will we ever get a cure for HIV? Number 4, the Plague of Justinian. Yersinia pestis, a deadly bacteria, has struck the Byzantine Empire, killing up to 50 million people, almost half of Europe's population. The plague arrived on grain ships, devastating Constantinople and collapsing social order. Emperor Justinian's dreams of restoring Rome died with his people. The pandemic weakened the empire and marked the start of the Dark Ages. Imagine half your city gone in a year. One microbe changed the course of history. Number 3, the Spanish flu of 1918. This H1N1 virus infected a third of the world and killed at least 50 million people in just 2 years. It struck during World War I, spreading rapidly among troops and civilians. Unlike most flu strains, it killed young and healthy adults within a few days. That's scary. The pandemic ended the war early and left a deep scar on the global psyche. It was deadlier than the war itself. The world learned how quickly a virus can change everything. Number 2, smallpox. Over centuries, it killed up to 500 million people, leaving survivors scarred or blinded. Smallpox devastated indigenous populations in the Americas, wiping out up to 90% after contact with European settlers. It toppled empires and redrew the map of the world. But in 1980, smallpox became the first major disease eradicated by vaccination. One of humanity's greatest triumphs. Proof that we can fight back and win. Number 1, the Black Death, a catastrophe that changed the course of human history forever. Between 1346 and 1353, this devastating pandemic swept across continents, killing up to 200 million people and wiping out as much as 60% of Europe's population, stated by a study from the University of Cambridge. Yersinia pestis, a deadly bacteria carried by fleas on rats, the plague unraveled the very fabric of daily life. Families abandoned each other in fear. Entire towns vanished almost overnight. Millions gone just like that. The trauma was devastating. Millions were lost, and life as people knew it completely changed forever. It left deep emotional and physical scars. Art turned darker, filled with images of death and grief. People's faith was put to the test, and old ways of living were gone forever. Out of all that pain came a shift, a new way of thinking about life and survival. The Black Death stands as the deadliest event in human history, a tragedy on a scale almost unimaginable today. The trauma was devastating. Millions were lost, and life as people knew it completely changed. It didn't just break bodies, it shattered spirits and left a mark on mankind that couldn't be erased. Let us know your thoughts. How do you think society would deal if faced with a disaster of this magnitude today? Pandemics have shaped our world as much as any war or invention. They reveal our vulnerabilities, but also our resilience and capacity for innovation. Understanding these stories is key to surviving future threats. Which pandemic you didn't know about? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you don't miss the next chapter in history's darkest moments. Stay safe, and see you in the next video.